everybody. Welcome in to another episode of Dead Men Tell Tales. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Steve, with the
great and powerful John.
There we go. I was hoping he would catch the at the end of that there. We are, as you guys know,
you were pointing at me.
As you guys know, we are a day late, but never a dollar short.
I'm a dollar short. I'm a few dollars short.
I can't say shit. I built a picnic table tonight, so I got that paper. Obviously with the holiday weekend being over the weekend here, and America's birthday, we had to unwind a little bit, but we are back at it here, guys. My apologies on not getting the last week's episode up on the YouTube yet. Like I said last week, the holiday weekend, shit was crazy for us. Anyhow, I had a decent week, hot as shit, and then we got a lot of rain, and then I got hot as shit again. So, typical fucking PA summer.
We had some people come over for the weekend, and I could imagine they were like, imagine that's what it's going to be like if I ever have kids. There were 2 tornadoes that just tore my house apart. And I don't feel bad saying that either, because if you listen to it, you know who you are. Other than that, it was good. We went and seen the fireworks, hung out, did some hiking, a little bit of fishing, went swimming. Went to this amusement park called Soaky Mountain, which is a water park that we'll probably try to get you to go to when you come visit. It's pretty sweet. And it was not crazy expensive. Like we looked at going to like Dollywood, and it was like $104 for the entry fee, and that just seemed outrageous. Because
I'm only interested in going to Dollywood unless I get to have dinner with Dolly Parton.
You and me both.
And a movie. On Netflix and chill.
She used to be on Porter Wagner and the Wagoneers. He was the man that like found Dolly Parton. And I remember that they used to play reruns of that show. And he had when I was little, my parents would watch it, and I was probably like 5 or 6. But I knew at a very young age that Dolly Parton had some things that I wanted. I remember watching that show, and I was like, man, if I could just grow up and have enough money to get one of them rhinestone coats with that wagon. This is Porter Wagner. He had a wagon wheel rhinestone jacket and a Jim Walters modular home. I was like, I would have made it in life. And then he introduced Dolly Parton, and I was like, well, there's 2 more things I'd like to have later in life.
No, dude, see,
story.
Dolly and Reba,
bro,
are like, everybody's like, oh, what about Shania Twain? No, nope, she don't come close to Dolly or Reba.
I sang that the night the lights went out in Georgia song with my whole chest.
Yes.
You ever see me in traffic listening to that song? You could tell because I'm just yelling. Whole chest.
Dude, I'm the same way when it comes to Fancy.
Oh, fuck yeah. Although you listen to that one, like, Fancy. Reba's mama turned her out to be a hoe, but
yeah, she did. Yes, she did. And I was born in the wrong generation, in the wrong area, or I could have experienced that.
I seen a video last week. We're gonna get to Steve's story, but this is a good meme. It said, "I was born too late to fight in Iraq or fight a war in Iraq," and then it said, "I was born too early to go to war in Iraq," and then the last one was like, "I was born just in time to go to war to Iraq because I thought we were going back."
Oh man. But yeah, so this week, guys, we are going to be covering Tecumseh's later years. I know last week John did his episode on Tennessee, but we are going to hit Tecumseh's later years here. So where we left off, obviously, Tecumseh, he was still bitter about the defeat at Fallen Timbers, and like I had said, he refused to attend the ceremony, let alone even sign the peace treaty. And his reasoning behind it it was the tribe's land, not his land to sign away. So all the other tribes that belong on that land, that were there on that land, that was their land. It wasn't his. Just yep, here you go. No. So I mean, he stood on his morals. Good job, man. Anyway, here the early 1800s, his oratory skills, he was very, he could speak very, very well, and how he spoke had a lot of people follow him, and you'll figure that out here. His oratory skills made him a spokesperson for the fellow Native Americans. Hatred for the whites was still there. Still wants to stop that white invasion. But at the same point in time, he's now actually talking with them. It's not just let me take a hatchet to your dome and carve a canoe through the middle of your head. No, he was actually talking to him, trying to, hey, look, get the fuck out my shit is what he was trying to pass off. In 1808, him and his brother, I'm going to fuck this the whole way up. Tenskwatawa, also known as the Prophet, founded Prophetstown. The Prophet and Tecumseh talked to fellow tribes to set aside feuds and pretty much work towards the common goal of stopping white invasion. That was what they did. So like, which if you look at Native American feuds, their stuff went deep. Like theirs was generation old feuds. And Tecumseh and his brother obviously talked to these tribes, had them set those feuds aside to stop the white invasion. Pretty much told them, like, look, stop adopting the white customs, stop using the white goods. Like, stop it. We've lived so long using what we have. Stop it. Obviously, anything here in America, we look for ease. So obviously, if you're used to doing something and it took 4 hours to do it, and you can now do it in 2, well, you're going to stick with that 2-hour thing. So it was definitely hard for him to do that. And like I said, he had talked to all the tribes he could possibly talk to. He talked to unite them to stop that white invasion. Obviously, this drew numerous tribes because it wasn't just Tecumseh's people. It wasn't just the neighbors of Tecumseh that were seeing this white invasion. It was everywhere, and it was westward expansion. It was crazy. It ties in with the YouTube stuff. You guys are watching the YouTube stuff. Westward expansion. With that, he, being that order that he was, he traveled from the Ozarks to New York to Florida to Iowa, and all those areas all had numerous tribes. So and obviously, if you've driven any of this, you know how long that fucking takes. Okay, just from here to North Carolina, from PA to North Carolina is about 8 hours. For me to John, it's about 8 hours. This man did it back then. There were no fucking cars. There were no trucks, no planes. No, he was on a horse, maybe, probably on foot. But either way, this gained many, many, many more followers. And with that, he actually formed the Indian Confederation. The tide of settlers was starting now to push game from the hunting grounds, and they, Native Americans subsisted on trading, shit like that. So if you're looking at, okay, well, I can get, just throwing spitballs here, I can get this buck, trade his hide for, a dozen ears of corn from this tribe. And obviously you have that white push, you're gonna push all the game out of the area. Same with housing developments. They put up housing developments, and then people bitch, oh my God, there's bears. Well, yeah, you just destroyed their fucking house. That's what they know. So, I mean, that's what happened there. It killed the economy of the Native Americans. In 1811, William Henry Harrison, the governor of Indiana, camped on the Wabash River near Prophetstown. It wasn't actually at Prophetstown, it was near it. The Prophet himself attacked. Now, there's another version of this, and I'll cover that here too. The Prophet attacked unwisely. obviously defeated, and he dipped. Provincetown is burned to the ground, and that becomes the Battle of Tippecanoe. Now, John had talked about this when I did the last episode here. I think what I might actually do is I might do a deep dive on the actual Battle of Tippecanoe and just do an episode on that battle, because it, like I said, Provincetown was burned down. There was a lot of shit that went down. I didn't go over it in this. With that, obviously Tecumseh was out on the trail, out on the I'm gonna call it the campaign trail, but he really wasn't out on the campaign trail. He was out trying to obviously recruit more people to his cause. So when he returned, he did what he could to attempt to salvage it. So with that, here is the other side of this William Henry Harrison stuff here. 1810, Tecumseh himself. Now, this is before Tecumseh went out on the campaign trail, quote unquote. He led 400 warriors to provoke Harrison. They rabble roused the warriors. Harrison pulled a sword. You know, tensions were big. Tensions were fucking flaring at this point in time. And then obviously, how they say it went down is the Prophet attacked, and William Henry Harrison launched a defensive strike. Don't know how the fuck that plays out, but hey, a defensive strike. Like, I can understand it. In today's age, we have fucking missiles. How are you doing a defensive strike? If you're striking back, you're going on the offensive at that day and age. You're going on the offensive and you're destroying shit. That's where it's at. So that's how they said that. It wasn't like the Prophet, like I said earlier, where the Prophet was defeated and he ran away. No. According to the other version of this, Harrison actually went on the offensive after the Prophet was defeated. Early in 1812, obviously the War of 1812, Tecumseh sided with the British, and they took Fort Detroit. And this is where it's kind of where Tecumseh gets like his big warrior name from. What he did, and this actually, if you follow the YouTube, and I've watched talk about this in a couple other of the chiefs that I talk about, what they would do is they would actually ride out, and they would ride back and forth in front of the troops or whoever would they be. They would ride back and forth as kind of a taunt. And what these guys did here, which was amazing, is they would actually they ride, say, 5 Braves out of the tree line, back into the tree line, down the 100 yards down, and then they would just keep doing that. So it made it look like they had a lot more troops than they actually did. And with that, William Hull actually surrendered Fort Detroit because of that. And then in 1813, they attack Fort Meigs with Henry Proctor. Obviously, William Henry Harrison was there. They actually retracted to the Thames, and they're in Ontario. Holy hell, that was a tongue twister for no damn reason. So like I said, they attacked Fort Meigs, and obviously inside Fort Meigs was William Henry Harrison. They retreated to the Thames. No, maybe I was wrong. I was wrong. William Henry Harrison attacked Fort Meigs. Sorry. Tecumseh and them, they retreat to the Thames up in Ontario, and from there they wait on reinforcements from Proctor. Tecumseh was told, "Hey, look, you're going to get reinforcements. You're going to get people. You're going to get help. Blah 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 blah," and pretty much was fed a line of shit. He didn't get any of that. At the end of the day, 3,000 soldiers defeated 500 Native Americans. That's what Tecumseh had with him at that time. 500 Braves against 3,000 soldiers. Tecumseh obviously is killed. Done. They never did find his body. It was actually carried off for a secret burial, which, I mean, that's respect right there. That battle actually becomes the Battle of the Thames. I probably pronounced that wrong, but it is what it is. But that is the life of Tecumseh. Obviously, what he created did not last. Several other chiefs try to do something like that, but it doesn't quite take off like it was supposed. Like Tecumseh had it happen. So, and overall, Tecumseh was an amazing leader. Did a lot of great things for his people, and at the end of the day, that's more than likely the reason why Tecumseh stood the test of time. Next episode that I do will be covering Victorio, and for those of you guys that do not know, he is part of the Apaches. Obviously, for those that do know the Apaches, those guys were they were crazy. So yeah, starting my next episode will be on Victorio. We're gonna cover his full life, and then obviously we'll jump into the next guys after that. But that is gonna do it for Tecumseh. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, like I said, I think I might do a full episode on Tippecanoe because that was a pretty gnarly battle. More along the lines of a massacre, but
so yeah. Does it get more bloody as you can, because you got a few more to cover,
right? With Tecumseh, that's it for Tecumseh. But as we go on here, Victorio, like how he went out was a good one. Mangus Coloradus was another good one, and then we have Red Cloud. Like as we go on here, the Chiefs get more and I wouldn't say more and more violent, but they're more and more like you're not taking my shit. So I'm definitely excited for them. But overall, man, I enjoy doing this. I really do.
I enjoy them too. The next one that I do for next week is going to be, it's either going to be on the Whitecaps again, some of their other stuff that they did because I'm further in the book now, or it's going to be a couple of the battles that took place around the area. We probably should make it to where it's a series on other social media sites, so that way you don't have to, like, can we pin it to where, like, because your second episode, so episode 2 was you for Tecumseh, right?
Yeah.
And then episode 4 is this one, so it'd be you again. We should see if we can.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could probably change, make a playlist or something on YouTube for it.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Because if we can do that, then they don't. I mean, if you want to listen to every episode, go right ahead. But if you want to be like, okay, I want to hear what Steve has to say about Tecumseh, it'll be like episode 2, 4, 6, and 8. Well, at the moment, that's how it seems like it's going to play out. But
I mean, you also can just look at the title names. Well, this is what season 2 episode. That's what you have this named. Whenever you post it, just obviously call it Tecumseh Part 2.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's just what we do for the recording thing. So that way, when I save it, when I move it over to the flash drive, that's not important. They don't want to hear about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that was. I feel like that he probably did some other stuff that people don't know about.
I'm not doubting that one bit, but like I say, in the YouTube stuff, when I do my research, like I have 4, 5, 6, 7 different tabs open, and I go through it, and if I see stuff that matches up, then I'm like, okay, this seriously happened. But obviously, with anything when it comes to history, people can publish fake websites all they want, and if I don't see it in any other of the websites that I'm looking at, I take it as okay, that didn't really happen.
I try to find it when I do mine. If I can't find 3 sources that even if the wordage is a little different, but the point's the same, I'll go with it. But
well, yeah, that's where I'm at. Like there was one, who was it? I think it was Daniel Boone. When I did him, there was one that I read that like I've watched documentaries on Daniel Boone. I've listened to podcasts on him. Like I'd like to think I know a decent bit about the guy, but there was one that I read and it said he did something, and I'm like, nowhere in anything I've ever read, listened to, watched, did it ever say he did this. But yes, I mean, I'm sure if I could get like, I guess, paid history websites, if that's a thing, I'm sure I could probably
go. There's a newspaper website that I use that you pay for, but it's probably not going to go that far back.
Yeah, like I can guarantee there's some history websites out there that like go in depth with the history, but at the same time, like the person that runs the website or whatever, they've done the work. Like they're not going to give that away for free, which I don't blame you. I wouldn't either. I spent fucking 20 years learning about somebody. I wouldn't want to give it away.
Yeah, no.
But so yeah, I flew through that. My fault. This is gonna be a shorter episode, guys. Damn, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna start writing mine, and I did it last time because I seen how fast I went through. I started writing. I was targeting 30 to 45 minutes. I'm going 45 minutes to an hour from now on because the speed at which we go through our scripts that we write.
Yeah, right. I get that. Like mine, I pretty much just have like bullet points, and then obviously I fill in. Like I could just sit here and read off my bullet points and not do anything, just legit what my bullet says. But yeah, I guess I gotta go back to writing out my scripts and timing myself. So that'll be on the docket of to-dos.
Well, with that being said, and this is coming to the end of the episode, don't forget that the first, hopefully everything works out, the first live episode will be in like where we're both together. You get to see the video in the same area. It will be in 2 weeks.
Not this coming weekend, next weekend, fuckers.
Yep. With that being said, guys, we hope you enjoyed it, and
yes,
come back and always
hit that like button, that comment something, thumbs up, middle finger, fuck you, something, comment something.
If you made it to the end, if you made it to right now, comment Steve's haircut stupid.
Yes, I'll accept that. Comment that. Comment. Oh, you can't see John right now, but he looks like he should be on an OnlyFans site. Speaking of OnlyFans, I got a hat coming, right, that says Only Dads. And like the OnlyFans rating, I'm so fucking excited, dude.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that.
I got it. I bought it.
Hell yeah.
So, but all right, guys, y'all have a great rest of your week. We will talk to y'all next Monday. Peace.
Later, guys.